Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Ring the bell! Prost.
Ring the bell? Is that what you said?
Hey, welcome to the 1 liter. Can you imagine medieval times? Ah! Hey ye! Imagine the dude in medieval times who like presented things to people. He told everyone the news. He was like, hear ye, the king is dead. But like he got the Black Plague, so he was like, hear ye. And he's coughing his fucking
He was
lungs
the one
up.
that had to travel everywhere, dude. And like people knew to rock up at like town hall or something at a specific time because they're like, the news.
His name was Hear Ye. Like he was like,
Where is Hear Ye?
yeah, Philip Gate. I have terrible news. Bro, hey, on the real note, anyone listening to this right now or watching, reminder, if you're listening to this, we have videos on the Spotify. So open up the fucking Spotify. You can watch us. We're currently in the process of writing a sick fucking song.
Sick fucking song is meant to be
It's meant to be a mockery.
Parody, mockery, mumble rap.
Yeah.
But it seems to slap. But also, we're pretty tanked already. Like we're quite a few seltzers down. This is probably the drunkest we've done a 1 liter podcast without doing like a second round one.
I'd
This
say
will be
I'm
interesting.
certainly
Welcome.
inebriated.
Yes, certainly.
Certainly, not severely, but certainly. Wait, what should we call this song? Let's offer it to
Let's
the people
brainstorm the song, the mumble rap song. Well, it's about. it's.
Let's call it Hot Pursuit.
Everyone listening, I don't know if.
Oh, dude, let's call it Hot Wheels, bro.
Hot Wheels. Like the cars.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
Hot Wheels. Oh yeah, for everyone listening that has never tried to write any sort of lyric, it's really difficult to write like a rap song that is not fake. Like you're trying to write about real stuff, but and not go too overboard, but make it relatable. And because you're listening to these rappers that are living in America and they might have grown up in a rough neighborhood. And they're rapping about their life, right?
For real.
They got a rough life, and everyone's like, yeah. And we're like, I live in Sydney.
I got a pretty good job. My parents are still together.
The fuck are we rapping about?
Dude, yeah.
That's the whole premise of 8 Mile, isn't it?
I feel like no, I mean Eminem from if 8 Mile's anything to go by, if it's historically accurate, that dude had a cunt of a life.
That's what I mean. But like when he drops that other guy right at the end and he's like, Terrence has got 2 parents. and all that shit.
That's right. He went to a private school.
Yeah.
I think what's if there's any redeeming factor about what we do, it's that there are a lot of dudes out there who probably love rap and want to get into it, but they don't have anything to go off. They're like, most rap is about struggle and pain, right?
Mm.
I got a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
What am I gonna
exactly.
What I'm gonna rap about? Women fucking me over and drugs. That's like a Mac Miller thing, right? But I think we're kind of if anyone listened to our song, they'd be like, "Hey man, these dudes are doing it for the fucking blue collar whiteys," you know, like because
they're doing it for the funnies.
We're rapping about things that we want, things that we desire, but at the same time, things that we find interesting. Like, who can fault us on that?
In my homie's Audi. Just pretending we're like in a sick car and we're just in my little A3 just
Yeah, room boom boom.
Excuse me, the fastest speed limit here around Sydney is 80 kilometers an hour. That's
They're
all we're
trying to
doing.
get us to work. Yeah, they're trying to get us to do 80. Lady. Don't fuck with me, lady. Yeah, anyways, sorry.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is difficult. When I was a vocalist in hardcore bands, bro, I fucking found it so difficult to write lyrics. And it wasn't because when you listen to a lot of the hardcore bands, they're like, you took my life. You ate my heart. I'm gonna get you. We're worlds apart. Like things like that,
Well,
right?
I was going to ask you, what wouldn't it be, like, what would you write about in hardcore songs?
Glad you asked.
Because I'm thinking it's quite different because we're like trying to be cool rappers that are trying to talk about cool things. But I'm imagining I listen to hardcore music as well, but it's all like whiny, almost emo hardcore stuff. And that's all just like, I had my heart broken and I'm just going to elaborate
Yeah.
and then do it in a screamy voice.
Yeah, for real. Pretty much.
Excellent.
We're not too far apart from different worlds, you know?
Whereas when you're rapping, you can't be like, she fucked me over. Because they'd be like, that's not gangster.
Well, I mean, what's that dude? She said, put my heart in a bag and nobody gets hurt. Now I'm running from your love. I'm not fast. What's that dude's name? I can't remember. He died, but like he did it. He pulled that off. He pulled off like the grungy, emo-y kind of lyrics with rap. I'll have to get it.
Know it. Yeah,
I'll have to remember. But I can't remember his fucking name. But he
my
died.
question: what would you write about?
Well, yeah. So like I listened to. I love like at the time I loved. I'm like yelling. Fuck. I love listening to like hardcore bands and stuff. But when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, they're so. It's kind of like a try hard poetry. Like they're trying too hard to sound really epical and poetic when it just sounds dumb. So what I tried to do is like, I just wrote about shit that I found interesting at the time. Like at the time I was like, oh dude, I really like Greek history. So I was like studying like Icarus, the guy who, him and his son were in a prison. And so they got feathers from like birds and like using wax and sticks created wings and like jumped off this prison to escape. And the father was like, don't fly too close to the sun because the sun will melt the wings. And the kid flew and like the wings melted because of the wax and he plummeted into the ocean and drowned. So I wrote a song called Icarus, and then I wrote a song in the last podcast I talked about voodoo, and I wrote a song about like watching National Geographic and voodoo. And another song, like I was like, so America has Marvel and DC, and the UK has 2000 AD comics. It's like their version of Marvel. And they have this one comic called Rogue Trooper. And long story short, it's like these troopers are sent down on this planet to like kill this army. And someone on the enemy's team found out about this like secret drop. So they went there and like massacred them as they all landed. And it was called like the Drop Site Massacre. So I was like, fellas, I've written a song. Play what you're playing. I'm just going to sing these lyrics. And so I wrote this song about like these dudes landing on this wasteland of a planet and just getting destroyed by this enemy who knew they were landing. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's epic.
You know what?
Is that what you called it? Drop Site
Massacre. That's the name of the fucking
Massacre?
song.
That's fucking awesome.
It's pretty gangster. Right? Can I just, I'm pretty sure I wrote I wasn't even in a band at the time. And the last song I wrote was on my phone, and I'm pretty sure I have it.
I wanted to elaborate on this Greek mythology stuff. So the Icarus story, because obviously that's a saying, right?
Yeah, don't
fly too close to the
Icarus's folly. But the thing
Where
was
do you
like,
think that came from? Like, why did someone create that story? Like, is it based on a real story, or is it meant to be just created to teach a lesson? Why was that created? Do you know?
Right.
Or
Imagine
you haven't?
I reckon if we had a machine that could hey machine, tell me how many people have died on the toilet, and it gave accurate numbers, it'd be like staggering, right?
On the toilet?
That was just an example. So if we said, hey machine, tell me how many people in Greek around the time when the Greek Empire was like really popping off, who created wings of wax and sticks and actual bird feathers and tried to fly and plummeted in the ocean. I reckon that'd be a decent number, like 12 people in all of history or something, right? So maybe
people just like, I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, that happened in like modern history, with the invention of the planes and stuff. I'm pretty sure the first dude to ever actually lift off in a plane crashed with it and died or something. I could be completely wrong, but
what was it? The Wright brothers?
Yeah,
the American dudes who made the planes, but I don't think either of those dudes died.
No.
But like, yeah, but like, I mean, dude, I'm pretty sure Da Vinci, like, because everyone knows Da Vinci was a fucking genius, right? Like the dude like did this like crazy blueprints for inventions. I'm pretty sure he had like blueprints for like the first helicopter. I'm pretty sure he invented that shit, dude. And then obviously it didn't kick off because his shit was like fucked up. But like, do you know what's crazy? Dude, in World War II, helicopters didn't exist. And then 20 years later in Vietnam in the late 60s, They had fucking helicopters, bro.
Yeah, it could like
How gangster
everything.
is that?
Everything about World War II was just like flyby planes, right?
Oh.
Pearl Harbor and stuff.
Yeah, like Spitfires and like fucking. What did the Germans had Stukas? Stuka. Does that mean
Yeah.
anything? Does that mean anything?
No.
Dude, Stukas were fucking crazy
Yeah.
shit.
But then like Vietnam was when you had like
Ding ding.
behind. Yeah, exactly.
Ding,
But
ding.
like coming out from the trees, just helicopters.
Oh yeah.
With like
Yeah.
big guns on them.
I see a bad moon rising. That's fucking Vietnam, bro.
Battlefield Vietnam.
Fuck yeah. Dude,
That was the
wait,
first battlefield I purchased.
it was sick, eh? Vietnam games are sick because it's like Captain Ming Mong dropping claymores and shit. Dude, COD, the first COD Black Ops, I played that shit in like year 12 religiously with my mates. And like when you're playing on the opposite team for the Americans, you're playing the Vietnam. When you drop a claymore, he'd go, Captain Ming Mong.
Is that
That's what
so?
they
That
fucking
was
say.
also based in Vietnam.
Yeah. Oh well,
Black Ops, or-
some maps are set in Russia and all around, and like the Antarctic, I think. But like, yeah, a couple of the maps are set in like Vietnam, bro.
I'm pretty sure Battlefield Vietnam, because it had the soundtrack and everything. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty gangster, but I don't think it was very good because of once newer Battlefields came out, I went back to it once and I was like, this is
This is
dog
trash.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But now with 42, they revived like 1942 maps from the OG.
And that shit pops off.
Oh, it pops off because it's got all the it's got all the like mechanics of the new game,
Yeah.
but like the old maps.
Yeah.
So dope. So dope. Nerd out on that shit.
Fuck yeah. Dude, so what have we because I'm fucked right now for those listening. So
Dude.
we've touched on Vietnam, we've touched on weird Greek shit. What else are we talking about?
Could you imagine
Yeah.
helicopters?
Oh, helicopters.
I don't want to go into a tangent of movies, but Dune, how they got the fucking
Ornithopters, that's what they're
Is
called.
that what they're called?
Ornithopters,
Because
yeah.
they're like, what do they look like? They're like a
Dragonflies.
Dragonfly. Could you imagine if someone
Bro.
else was like, instead of having spinning blades, imagine if we could just make wings
Yeah.
like from an insect.
Yeah.
But I reckon that would physically not work.
Bro,
right?
do you know what we need though? I agree. Would not fucking work. Like
Imagine trying to
realistically.
flap this large metal things up and down. They would just go bend, crack.
Can you imagine that plus can you imagine the fuel consumption on what it runs on? Like if it's solar, maybe,
never
but like
work.
yeah. But dude, thinking about what I feel like if Elon Musk could do something that could really assist us, it'd be like portable, almost like so we've got planes and then mini planes, but think about a bus-sized plane that can travel as fast as a car, but is just like, vroom, you know, like flying cars.
Signs.
Why can't we have flying cars, but more just like transports? Like, do you know, in like,
But how are they flying?
good question, anti-gravity or something?
Yeah.
Here's another
If
interesting.
you can work that out, you will have all of the money, Joel.
Oh yeah, fuck,
Anti-gravity? Shit.
bro. Dude, magnets are sick.
Did you see
Magnets. Oh, how fucking cool are magnets?
Magnets are fucking wild. I used to have, you know, there's like chrome silver magnets, like that are really strong.
Are they the not? No, no.
I used to have like a set of little round, and they were like chrome little round
that's
buttons,
like,
and there was like,
trying to pull it apart. Do you remember people in primary school had the fucking oval shape? It was like three of them, and you put them together, they'd be like, and you pull them
oh,
apart, and
they
they
made
go,
like a weird sound.
and
yeah.
they'd stick together. Yeah, but one of the guys I work with, so I'm working with power, heating, ventilation, and aircon team at my work, and one of the guys I work with, he's a specialist in compressors,
Mm.
right? All that kind of air shit. And he said, I was talking to him today about, because I was like, I'm working on getting him leads. So I'll call up a customer and be like, hey bro, I'll send out a specialist who knows about air compression.
Yeah. And
He's
this
like,
is
yep.
the bloke.
Yep. And he asked me, he's like, are there any special requirements for this company? Do I need certain PPE? Which is like work boots, glasses, high vis shirt, just if they're
PPE,
walking,
personal
personal protection
protective
equipment.
equipment,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like, yeah. And I was like, oh, check it. He went into explanation. He's like, because I went to this one place that had two giant magnets side by side, like 2 meters apart. And he said, if you went in there with a phone or a credit card, wiped.
What?
Fucking wiped, dude. all information gone. Like you'd never use that
Yeah.
shit again. And
I was gonna say I've experienced that firsthand.
you've had that happen to you.
So not wiped on like a larger device, but do you remember the fucking what were they called? The Tamagotchis?
Yeah.
The little Tamagotchis?
And you'd like, dude, we'd play Tamagotchis
Yeah,
of
and they had
Digimon,
the
and you're
little
like,
Digimon
kill,
Wars.
kill,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you remember the ones in primary school? Anyone listening to this, if you can relate, a Tamagotchi evolved to a Digimon. No, not Tamagotchi. Digimon evolved to one where you had to click it. You go
The
click,
three
click, click.
buttons.
There was that.
Or the shaking.
Yeah, the
ones?
shake one, and you shake it, and that makes it walk.
Yeah.
I remember being there in like maybe year 6 or 7, and dudes just sitting and go tick, 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 for ages, and I'm like, bro, that's fucked, man. Give
Yeah.
that a
And
break.
you thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
But I had a little Tamagotchi.
The
and
square
it was
one?
like it was, nah.
Oh no, it was a circular one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was even like a little dinosaur one or some bullshit. But
Course.
it was hanging off my like pants.
Keychain.
And I was playing with these big, like stronger square magnets. And I was like, oh yeah, trying to pull them apart and stuff. And I was like doing this, trying to pull it apart. And one of them just went onto my Tamagotchi. What's it called? Yeah, Tamagotchi, and stuck onto it. And I was like, oh, what the hell? Pulled it off. Didn't realize, but then looked at it later, and it had reset it. So it was like back in its egg, like not born
No.
yet. I was like, no, my progress.
Oh fuck, dude, that sucks.
That's progress. So yeah, that's like firsthand of what those magnets would do to your fucking phone.
Dude.
But imagine your phone just going,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Can I just touch on fucking? So I had a Tamagotchi.
I feel like there's a lot of fuckings in this episode.
Yeah.
We did notice that, ladies and gentlemen. We did notice that while we were recording, the more drinks we had, the more fucking we tried to add into the lyrics just to fill syllables. It was terrible.
Can you bring this up? Look up Square Digimon. But do you remember these?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Hold that up. It had 3 buttons and you battled them. You like
Yeah.
held them together. And,
So here's the thing, right? I had a Tamagotchi, but I was real young, so it was kind of like I don't have a lot of memories of it. But I remember getting those square. It was like brick Tamagotchis, and you'd have to put the 2 metal bits together on someone else's,
and then
and then it'd go tick tick, and then it like showed the 2 enemies, and then they'd split apart, and you press buttons, it'd be like 1 blast, 2 blast, and then
what
whoever got
happened
the
if you lost?
triple blast, it would go, and then that person, I think they died legit.
Oh, shit.
Dude, wait, can I just like, side note, in primary school, kids these days don't know, but primary school back in our day was fucking cutthroat. We had Tarzos. We had
did have
Tarzos, and we had
Wait,
Digimon
explain what Tarzos are for
and
anyone that
Pokemon
doesn't
cards.
know.
So Tarzos were little cardboard or like little plastic discs, and they had 2 sides. One side was the character face, and the other side was like the brand, right? So you'd have a group of Tarzos, and you'd put them down. Maybe you'd go an enemy's like another kid's Tarzo, and then your Tarzo, and you'd have a thing
On top
called,
of each other.
on top of each other. It was never really decided who went on top of who because it didn't really matter.
No.
And you'd have a thing called a slammer, and a slammer was the same circular coin size as a Tarzo.
That was the coolest part.
But it was like heavy metal
Yeah.
or something like that. And you'd go, all right, let's go doubles or like triples or whatever. So you'd put like my Tarzo, your Tarzo, my Tarzo, your Tarzo, or like 1-1. And you'd slam the Tarzo. Imagine coins, right? You'd slam a 50-cent coin on the edge of 2 10-cent coins or 20-cent coins. And if you could flip it from the face up over, then you win that one.
And you collected other kids' Tarzos.
Other kids' Tarzos, bro.
Isn't that crazy?
Bro, so I used to go to after school care, right? And like I wouldn't have to. I still have a huge Tarzo collection. My brother's got.
No
He's kept
way.
it. Yeah, dude. Old rugby league cards, Looney Tunes, fucking what's that fucking movie? Space Jam. Crazy old school.
Whoa.
Simpsons. Crazy old school. Some metal, some cardboard, some plastic. Mainly plastic, right? And you'd rock up, and you'd be like, "Oh man, let's play boom, boom, boom." And sometimes we'd play 10s. So you'd
Stacks.
have stacks.
Yeah, I
and you'd
remember
hit it,
that.
and they're just like whatever flopped over, you kept it at the end.
And like it was always, whenever you were battling someone, it was on the ground, and there would always be a mini crowd.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there
yeah.
would always be
Watching.
like a circle of people like, oh my God.
Yeah, and it was
someone else would be
sweaty,
like,
bro.
I'll go in. Yeah, it was crazy. So we had that.
Yeah.
And then what else did you say?
We
Cards?
had the Simpsons. We had the Sims. At one point, we had in the chip packets, you get Simpsons Tarzos, but they'll Velcro on the bottom.
Oh.
So, and you'd have a tennis ball, so you'd hit the tennis ball down and like pick up the Velcro, and sometimes the Velcro wouldn't pick it up. It was a different thing at the time.
Oh, okay.
And then you
I
had
never got into that.
you
no.
had Pokemon metal ones, Simpsons Tarzos with everything else, and then you had Yu-Gi-Oh metal ones. So when I was in late primary school, we had Yu-Gi-Oh ones, and like I remember, I would be bored at after school care. So for those who don't know, which would be weird if you don't, if your parents work late and you can't get picked up from school, you're not going to catch a bus home in primary
Yeah, it's
school.
after school care. It's like older kids daycare.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd wait until your parents pick you up. And my parents always got there at like 4:35. It was like late as. So like when Tarzos were a craze.
That was late, wasn't it?
Yeah.
School was done at 3:20.
When are we having dinner? Yeah. So I'd if I didn't bring my Tarzos, I'd be walking around playing on the playground or whatever, and then I'd walk up and there'll be like 15 kids versing each other. I go up to one kid and go, "Hey bro, give me one of your Tarzos and I'll fucking battle someone and I'll win. I'll bring you as much as you want." And I'd win. I'd do this. And he'd be like, "All right."
Gambler.
He'd give me a shit one. I'd be like, "Hey man, play me. Play me one of your shit ones. I'll play your shit one." Yeah, okay. I play him. Can I use your slammer? Yeah, whatever. Boom. I'd win. Play me another. Okay. Boom. I put maybe one down.
So did you have a tactic though, or
I
was
just
this
hit-
a pure luck?
Hit the corner as best you can, right? So I'd boom beat
There was actual tactics.
beat a kid again. So I'd have 4 Tarzos now. So I'd play 1 versus 1, I'd win 2. I play 1 versus 1 again, and I'd win another 2. So I'd have 4, and I'd be like, "You want to play again?" No, I don't want to play. Go to the next kid. Bro, I got 4. Let's play. Play him. I'd lose one game, play again. I'd win again, and then I'd win again. You want to play again? I'd win again. All right, bro. Do you have like a really flashy Tarzo? All right, I'll put 2 of mine down. You put one of your good ones down.
Ooh.
Boom, beat him. And then I go to another kid, beat him again. I was just very confident. And then I come up to this kid and he was like milling around. I'd be like, "Hey, bro, here you go." I just did it for entertainment. I didn't care.
Really? You just wanted the win,
yeah.
and then you were like, all right, these aren't mine.
And I hand over 8 Tarzos to this kid. He's like, "Bro, you won all these for me?" I'd be like, "Yeah, man, here you go." He's like, "You don't want to keep some?" I'm like, no, it's all good. And so next time, the following day, when I'd get to after school care, that kid would run up to me and be like, "Hey, bro, here, take these ones. Win some more for me." I'd be like, "Whatever."
You were the Tarzo winner.
Yeah, and maybe that day I'd lose badly. So he lost trust in me. So it was, and then like you'd play, I'd be starving. I'd be waiting for my parents to pick me up. I'd play, and then eventually I'm playing, and then I'm really enthralled in it. And then 2 hours has passed. I didn't realize, and then I get a tap on my shoulder. Your dad's here. Your mum's here.
You're like,
oh
nice,
fuck! I get to
nice.
get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Tarzos, but do you know what else we had? You remember Beyblades?
I never took a Beyblade to school, bro.
That was rough though. That
you
was
play
a
Beyblades
rough
at school?
Game.
Because you needed like a little disc.
You needed a little arena.
Yeah.
I never had that. I think maybe my little brother had it.
You and David used to battle.
No, like maybe. But like if anyone that doesn't know what Beyblades are, you get like
Rookies.
this little bowl. It's like a little oval thing.
Beyblades.
And then you have 2 like spin tops that you wind up on like a little launcher or whatever they were called. And then you pop them in, and they had like little metal spikes on the outside, and then there would be 2 things.
Sometimes you
spinning, and
get
they would
sparks, bro.
just, and they would like literally battle.
Yeah,
We don't have that now. There's no physical battles anymore.
I don't know what's
Everyone's
going on
just-
with like kids' toys, man.
Yeah, but everyone's just on the line. You know,
Yeah.
they're just battling on the line.
But like, I remember towards the end of my Tarzo day, I remember I beat some kids, and then they like cried and like went and told the teacher. So I was like, these days are ending. But listen to this. When I think of Beyblades, I think of this.
Beyblades. Is that like the theme?
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life. You gotta fall down and need ground to get back up again. Let's Beyblades.
Beyblades! Dude, that was a fucking lit song.
Where were they? Who invented that?
I don't know, bro, but they're fucking lit,
It
dude.
seems like it's
Let's
anime.
smash plastic together.
and,
Yeah.
in like Japanese or something. Like
Oh, all Japanese, bro.
yeah.
Wait, can we just comment on Japanese people, for instance? Like, there's a lot of shit going on in Japan when it comes to work ethic, right? Like, Japanese people will work themselves to death. They'll stay at the office for 2 to 3 days, sleep at the office in their sweaty, stinky clothes to get shit done. And it's looked at as a sign of like respect. If you were a boss and you went to work and you saw one of your workers asleep at his desk, you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, good dude."
He's
That's
worked
actually-
until he has to pass out.
That's a thing in Japan, bro.
That's wild.
If you are sick, if you are physically sick and like COVID ridiculous sick, where you're dragging yourself to work, you're still expected to come in, right? So there's that, and there's a big suicide thing in Japan. Like, I'm not trying to fuck with anyone here, but like suicide is still a very prevalent in Japan at the moment, and the procreation rate in Japan is quite low.
Oh yeah, they're
There's
like one
older
of-
people than younger people in Japan because people are just very antisocial in Japan. They don't fuck. Young people aren't getting out
I think
there.
they're one of the first nations that are going to like collapse.
Yeah.
From the population collapse,
For real.
because
And
they're
I've,
not. They've got far more older people than they have younger people.
yeah.
And once those pass away, like it's going to shrink like crazy.
I used to work when I was in Brisbane. I used to work for this pharmaceutical company, and there was 3 siblings that used to work at the same time. There was the oldest sister, so they had a white Aussie dad and a Japanese mom, and they were all born in Japan. The oldest was Marinda, and then the second was Tucky. Tucky was my mate. He's a cool dude. And then the youngest was the youngest was Marinda. The oldest was like Cassie or something. I can't remember fucking name. But they were halfies, right? Halfies. I don't know if I got. I was gonna say half
Japanese.
I was gonna say half
Caucasian.
caste, but I know people find that offensive term. They were, but so they had grown up. They had done a lot of schooling in Japan and then lived in Australia and then gone back and forth. And dad still worked over there and mum was over here. And they told me they were like Marinda. I remember asking her, she was youngest and she was the fresh over here, like Aussie accent, could speak English great, but full, like went to high school. Was like 18 at the time. So she had just come from high school and I was like, oh, you date a lot of Japanese guys? And she was like, no, like I don't like dating Japanese guys because they're very timid. They're like, and they won't make a move. Whereas us, like Caucasians, like Westerners, we're like, fucking, hey, come here, darling. So she was like, I don't like Japanese guys. So that was very eye-opening. It added a bit of gravity to what the statistics say. But when you think about anime, my point was anime, right? Some of these dudes write manga. Manga's like the comic book version. So guys will write manga, manga. They'll write the manga and it'll be like literally like pictured version, like a picture book version of like a comic. Like a comic. It's basically like a comic.
Yeah.
And eventually, if it's popular, they'll make an animated version of the manga and it'll be identical to the fucking comic, right? And you think about some of these mangas that have come out that have been made into shows, they are so interesting and so imaginative that you have to give props to these people. So when we're coming back to the Beyblade thing, it's just like people spinning cords and these metal things spinning. That's like on the lower end of how creative these people are. Like there's a comic out there called fucking Chainsaw Man or something, and this dude's got a fucking chainsaw for a head and hands. Like one anime that I'm into is called One Piece. This thing's been gone for 20 years, dude.
That's a long time. That's like Simpsons.
Yeah, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, but Japanese version of it. And there's all these crazy characters and crazy powers that people. There's this thing called devil fruits, right? You eat a devil fruit, and the devil fruit may give you abilities. So the main character's name's Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. And he ate the gum fruit or some shit like that, and it gives him he's like a stretchy man. So he's like gumma.
Fantastic Four.
Rocket. Yeah. And and like one dude, like, you know, you eat this power and you make like fully electric, or you can shoot fucking lava and weird shit. And when you listen, when I describe it to you, like, fuck, that sounds so lame. I've never watched that. It's on Netflix, dude. You can watch it. But when you watch this show, and they've made a live action version of Netflix recently, you get so invested in animes, bro.
I know. People that watch animes, they're so into it and so invested. But you have to actually like commit, right? Because I never have. So I'm like, it's a mystery to me.
I get
I
it.
only see the snippets and I'm like, right, I would have
Fuck
to
that, yeah.
I would have to really commit.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I guess it's easier for me because I grew up watching animes like Dragon Ball Z and Digimon's, Pokemon,
Yeah, I
and
never
fucking
watched that,
and some
so.
deeper ones. But I think because I've watched I've watched Japanese movies and TV shows, like live action, like real life ones, and they're interesting, and I can enjoy them, but they don't hold a candle to Korean film and TV, in my opinion. And it's not shitting on Japanese people at all, but I just prefer Korean.
Korean is better, is it?
In my opinion. Maybe I've seen
I
more
don't even
Korean
know
than
the difference.
Japanese.
I've never seen either, I don't think.
Yeah. But I will say this, like, if you try to take, like, I'll give you the perfect example. Cartoon Lion King versus the 3D animated.
No, really?
Right? Right? So the same comedic timing and the facial expressions that you get from the original 90s cartoon, and then you have the live action one with all the Beyonce and all them, doesn't hold up. You can watch a Japanese comedy, which is live action, and then you watch an anime. The anime holds up because they do more physicality.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's
the
great.
expressions are always way better.
Way better. And I feel
in
like,
cartoons.
and one thing, and I agree, and like me and Tucky used to get baked, bro. Like I don't do that shit anymore. But when I was younger, I used to get really high, and I would like watch these things with.
This is what I literally almost said that. I was like, I would have to commit and probably be really high to try and get into anime.
Yeah.
And I would probably
Yeah.
have to just get really blazed and watch it and be like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah. And like I don't touch narcotics anymore, but obviously anyone listening to this who are important to my future careers, I was very young at the time. And we would have D&Ms. We would have D&Ms, right? And I'd say to my friend Tucky, I'd be like, because Tucky said to me, he's like, animes and video, because he was a huge gamer, and he said gaming is like almost like a new version of art. It's like an art form. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
What?
At the time, I was like studying acting when I met him. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I thought about it. I was like, it is concept art, visual art.
You mean like creating games or actually just sitting down and playing games?
like video game, the storyline in video games and the way they're presented in the art and like the digital formatting for video games and the plot format and
You mean the people that are creating it? It's like an
no
art
video
or-
games. Some video games themselves are an art form.
Right.
Like if you think
to
about
play them.
Yeah, if you think about Detroit Becoming Human, the game where like you can play cyborgs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like an artistic expression of like AI. If you think about Battlefield and you played the campaign or even COD, you could put that in a movie version and that's someone's journey, that's someone's life form.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But video games are so developed now and there's so much into it and people are putting a lot of effort into the writing of aspect of it that it is a level of art. So when he said that to me, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And I couldn't help but agree with him on some points. And then when we discussed anime, we agreed that some people will look at an anime, like for you, for instance, or like someone who's in their 40s or 50s now, they'll look at a cartoon and go, oh, it's a fucking cartoon. It's a kid's show. But if you actually sat there and watched it, you'd realize there's so much conveyed from this thing. Like, yes, it's a cartoon. You have to get over it. It's not real life. But people will write extremely philosophical, heartwarming stories for animes that are really pretty. And if you can just get past the fact that it's a cartoon, you will be enticed. You'll entranced by this. It's
devoured by the story.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Spirited Away. Have you ever seen Spirited
No.
Away, dude?
I've heard of this, so
Dude.
that's like one of the most famous ones, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Mononoke, like Princess Mononoke, fucking all this, like Studio Ghibli are really good for like convincing people that anime is dope, right? One Piece is very long. It's up to like 1,000 something episodes. Like imagine watching Sex Education. It's up to what, maybe 40 or 50 episodes? And you're like,
Sex Education? No.
40 episodes.
4 seasons, and I think it's
10
like
episodes each?
Yeah, 8 to
so
10
about
each.
36, 36 or something episodes, right? You think of that and you go, fuck, that's long. Anime is like 1,000 plus episodes. One Piece is like 1,200 episodes at this point in time.
Jesus.
It's long. And when you tell people about that, like Game of Thrones, they're intimidated by it. They're like, oh, mate, Game of Thrones is 8 seasons? Fuck that.
Yeah, I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't
But
start.
I tell you this right now, if you got to at least the second season of Game of Thrones, you'd be hooked.
You're in, yeah, of
You're in,
course,
yeah.
of course. But that's exactly why I wouldn't start, because I
Yeah.
was like, then I would have to commit for 8 whole seasons.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Can I change the subject real quick? And
Well, I
just
wanted to
say-
go back to the gaming production, but yeah, go.
I will. I'll say this though. How fucking depressing is it when you're really entranced in a show and it ends?
Oh my
Like-
god!
Like I've never watched all of The Office, right? I've maybe watched 2 seasons of
I
The
have.
Office and a lot of bloopers. If I started watching The Office, American US Office, all the way through, by the end of it, I'd be like, my life is over now. It's
yes,
over. You know?
yes, I literally did that. Like
Yeah.
through, I think it was like start of COVID.
Yeah.
Watched a whole lot and then got to the end and I was like, oh, now what do I do with my life now?
Yeah.
I hope they live. They
Yeah.
live on.
Yeah. Dude, did you see they're trying to reboot it?
What?
Yeah, no. I swear to God. I swear to
No.
God. Google right now, Instagram. Yeah, they're trying to bring back a new season.
That's wild.
Let it die, guys. Let it die.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to do that.
Let's.
I mean, it would be cool.
Mhm.
Like, remember when everyone thought they were going to reboot Friends, but it was just like a little.
Lamb.
They all got together and had like interviews and a catch up. I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool as.
Tell me about what you were mentioning about video games art
Oh.
forms.
So video games, I was like, speaking of video games, there's like, Rockstar Games that make
Prost!
GTA. Prost!
Yeah, Rockstar.
Rockstar. So they are extremely secretive with their stuff and they're really good at keeping it all on lockdown. So
Under wraps, yeah.
yeah, so GTA.
They have. Oh, dude, can I just say though? Sorry to cut you off.
You're all good.
They have game testers. A lot of these people have game testers,
man.
and it's the game testers that leak information.
Yeah, but it's not even to that point yet. So I'm talking
True.
when they're like in production.
So this is GTA 6 at the moment.
GTA 6.
Is that Los Santos? I hope so.
Apparently it's like a new Vice City.
Vice City,
Yeah, it's like a new Miami.
Fuck
So
yeah.
they because GTA 5 was 2013.
Bro.
That's 10 years ago.
I remember when it came. Wait, can I just say?
And I reckon
remember when it came out.
the new one is still years away. But there's like all
Sure.
these rumors coming out because what they
The
have to do,
memes are so funny.
the amount of shit they have to record, voices they have to record, storylines they have to record, that shit's all happening and nobody's allowed to say anything. Everyone's signing fucking non-disclosure agreements. But there was one meme that I saw that it's rumored that one of the in-game radio stations will be Joe Rogan in GTA 6.
Can I just
Could
say-
you imagine?
Can I just say? I saw memes about this,
Yeah.
and I thought it was bullshit. Like,
You never know.
but-
It's probably something they would do.
because some of the topics Joe Rogan. Oi, bro, I would fucking love that.
That would be so dope. Imagine just
Fuck
driving
yeah.
around, hop in a car, and you're like, yes, it's on the Rogan station.
That's so sick. Wait, can I say like, I feel quite blessed that because I have older brothers. I got 3 older brothers. The 2 oldest brothers are in their 40s now. So like, I've said this in a lot of podcasts in the past, but I never had to beg my parents for each new console that came out
Mm,
because my brothers did the hard yards for me.
yeah.
I remember being one of the earliest memories I had as a tiny kid. It was like playing Sega. There was like a game where it was like an Indiana Jones egg and you'd like lasso and like, so like we had Sega, we had Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color. We had Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation, I don't know, 5. We had Xbox 360. I never had the new Xbox, but so I always had the consoles, right? And then we had a PC as well. So I remember I played the original GTAs where it was bird's eye view.
No way.
You'd like
2
turn,
and 3.
and when you'd shoot bullets, it'd go boop, 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 and you'd run on the train tracks and you'd go bzz, bzz, and you'd turn into a skull like you're dead. And I played that, and then GTA 3 came out. It's like, and then that, and then after GTA 3, we had Vice City.
Was 3 the first 3D one?
Yeah, where you get out of prison, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was like GTA 3.
I only started with Vice City. That was the first
Right.
one I had.
So it's GTA 3, then Vice City, then San Andreas, then the new, and then the
San Andreas was so dope.
Ballad of Gay Tony, and fucking, then there was like Nico Bullock, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then
GTA
GTA
4.
Yeah. So, dude, I remember playing Vice City and I was probably maybe like year 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5. And like just guzzling a bottle of 2-liter Coke and like playing, and like you're in your Hawaiian shirt in a golf cart driving around, get up, spray cops, you got a mansion. It was sick, dude.
Vice City was so cool. I never finished Vice City. It was
I
so
smashed
hard.
that, bro. I fucking
Like,
smashed
I
it.
found that so difficult. Like some of those car chasing because I played on PC.
Yeah,
So I reckon
I
it would
played
probably
console.
be easier on like
Yeah,
joystick
for sure.
driving because
Yeah.
I'm driving with keyboard.
True, you were on the opposite
So I was like,
spectrum. Yeah.
"Ah!"
There was. I remember one map in particular was like this British dude. He's like Rosenberg. Oh yeah, the hospital chase, the ambulance chaser. I remember all that shit.
The ambulance one. That's
Yeah.
basically where I stopped playing.
True.
Like that's what fucked me up.
That was so early on, bro.
Was it?
Dude, I can I just say I remember.
I feel like that was. I'm not sure.
I remember a level in Vice City where you had to take a certain truck, rob money, and then drive this truck all the way back to this spot. But like a vehicle, you had to get any kind of vehicle and drive it back. But there was like a million cops, and you would just get bombarded by choppers. They go like you drive like 100 meters and go, brrr, and they kill you. So I had to. The only vehicle I could find was a fucking a garbage truck.
Oh,
It was just like
so slow.
it was slow, but it was reinforced. And I'd like drove and like my health bar was so low, and I finally got there. It was fucking sick. But San Andreas, I was probably in year 7, just before high school.
Yeah.
Smashed that out.
San Andreas
'cause I
was
remember-
the first one I finished.
I remember being
Love
in,
that.
yeah, I remember being year 8, my first year of high school, and like going up to people and like talking to them about it. I think maybe 2005 was actually the year of my first year of high school is when I played San Andreas. Yeah.
San Andreas I loved. It was like a great open
CJ,
map with the
yeah.
with the mountain. You had I'm pretty sure you had helicopters and planes, right?
Jetpack mod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
The corner, you could like the fucked up thing about GTA San Andreas is like if you
could get
wanted
so
you had
custom,
to
you
go
could
to the
get buff.
gym
Yeah.
and like you had to like if I wanted cornrows I had to go back to fucking Los Santos, get the dray, and then go back out to the fucking jetpack out there and do the Mexican dude mission and shit. The dude who's
Oh,
dating
right.
his
Yeah, yeah,
sister. You know, it's fucked, man.
That was great. And then GTA 4, I didn't finish. I actually lost interest, which it was like the New York based one.
I never played that, dude. I never
'Cause
played the
it
Nico Bollock
wasn't-
one.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
never played
great.
that Gay Tony anything.
Because it
I'm
was
like,
just the city, right? So I was like, this is boring. Like I want like landscapes. And then GTA 5 just engulfed my life. That was
True.
beautiful.
bro. I remember going to so like I was still in a hardcore band at the time, and I just left a band, and I was trying to find new members, and I knew a dude called Pete. I gotta find this dude on Instagram. He's a cool guy. His name was Peter. Peter Graham. I gotta remember this dude. He's a cool guy, man. He was a fucking weirdo, but he was real cool. And I remember he had just moved out, and he had his own place with some friend, and his parents owned the place. He was a huge stoner. And I went out to meet him because he was a drummer, and I was trying to recruit him. And the dude was like smoking huge cones. And like at the time, I was like, nah, I'm good, man. Like I'm fucking good.
I'm good.
I remember sitting there and he was like high as fuck. And I was showing him on my laptop some of the songs, and he was really interested. It never worked out because he had like he ended up going down the I'm going to be a tradie and give up on music route. But I remember sitting on his bed and then looking at the TV, and he was playing GTA, and I was like, fuck, I got to get my hands on this. GTA had probably only been out for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Which one?
GTA 5.
5, yeah.
And he was playing.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
like, this is Trevor, this is Michael, this is
Yes.
fucking. And I was just like, holy fuck, like. And
The best game.
bro, I remember
I
watching
would
this.
still jump on now and play that. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good, and it's
Yeah.
from 10 years ago.
It's fucked up.
Could you
I couldn't
imagine
play it now. I couldn't play
How good 6 is going to be.
it. Bro.
It's going to blow
it's-
our minds.
Bro, can you imagine GTA 10 in the future when we're going to be 50 years old? It's going to be lit.
I don't
but-
know. We'll be older than 50, I reckon. If they take 10 years to
Mm.
bring out a new one.
True.
Jesus.
We'll be fucking 80 or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, I still haven't even played the new battle. I haven't even got a new PS5, bro. Like, there's so many games I need to play.
But
like,
wait, your comment before, you said you wouldn't jump on and play 5 now, GTA 5?
I've just played too much of it I just don't care about it. If I was playing with a group of people and
Yeah,
we were drunk
online.
and we were like, yeah, fuck it, let's do this, I'd be like, all right. But I'd still get bored.
Online.
But the
You
new
do
games
you
that are
do the
coming out,
stunt
bro,
races. They're so good.
I sucked at those, bro. I sucked.
What did you say? The new games that are coming out?
New games, like, again, I'm getting back on, like,
Look, I'm by no means like versed in games that are coming out. I just know the big titles that everyone knows.
yeah. Here we go. The Office is reportedly getting a reboot.
Okay. We're switching back to office talk.
But
The office.
in regards to
Reportedly.
games, dude, so like for all my homies out there who like Warhammer, and let me just remind everyone out there,
I think we talk about Warhammer every time.
you
now.
like Star Wars, which is probably the biggest sci-fi franchise. You like Blade Runner, you like Lord of the Rings, you like Harry Potter, all these kind of like fictional things. Let me just advise you all, and I cannot wait until I can dig back into this podcast and show everyone that I was one of the true believers. Jesus Christ, you know?
I'm a true
Warhammer 40K.
believer.
Warhammer 40K is so much bigger than the aforementioned franchise. Like, it is going to be huge. And once we get on TV, once we do this, it's going to be huge, right?
I love how you say we. Once we get on TV and we,
Oh,
like,
dude.
as in 40K,
Yeah, dude, the community that I'm in, like, I don't even
you
have
are
to.
part of it.
I don't even have to talk to these people, and they're my brothers. Like, I'll tell you this right now. If I go anywhere and I'm talking to a bunch of randoms and I go, do you know Warhammer? Let's say there's 10 guys in front of me. Maybe 5 of them, half will say, I know Warhammer. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will go, I fuck with it. Like, I read the books, right? I'm into it. Those 2 dudes, they were instantly my kin. Instantly. They can do no wrong. Like, I can sit there and talk to them and instantly they know where I'm coming from. Like, this shit has consumed my life.
That's so wild.
It's not just a sci-fi series about shooting guns and killing aliens. It is literally like, it's philosophical. So if you've done 5 years of being a 40K fan, you have a certain perspective on reality.
You're dedicated.
No. It's not just that. Like if I sat there with like one dude and I said, man, like if aliens landed on this planet and then we went into the logistics of aliens landing on the planet, one dude would be like, yeah, man, like fucking aliens would be cool. We can learn from that, blah, blah, blah. But if I spoke to a 40K dude, he'd be like, oh, you know, like the effect it would have on our religion, the effect it would have on our councils, the effect it would have on our politicians, the effects it would have on like our industrial, the effects it would have on quantum physics, it would have on our understanding of the universe. These are the like intellectual conversations, right?
Mm.
So what I'm saying is the new Space Marine 2 is coming out. And it looks so fucking good, dude. It looks so good. And it's got a co-op function. When was the last game you played
Yeah.
that had offline co-op? This is what
Offline LAN co-op.
LAN co-op. Bro. No. So it's online. Sorry. It's online co-op, but it's like
Co-op is the best, dude. Like there's
these
so little
motherfuckers brought
things.
it back.
Yeah.
It's out there.
So little things that have co-op now. I mean, the Battlefield 2042 has like you can jump in with just your squad and just verse bots. So they have that kind of co-op, but it's not the same as like the storyline co-op that used to exist where
For real.
you jump in with other people and you're
Like
all
Halo,
walking
dude.
through.
Yeah. Halo was that. But I'm pretty
I
sure
only ever played the most recent Halo, the free one. What was it? What was it called? Infinity or something?
Yeah.
Through COVID.
I haven't even
That's
played
the only
Infinity,
Halo
bro.
that
I haven't
I've
played that
ever
one.
played.
I played from Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 5, I think. But yeah, I haven't played that.
Never got into it.
Yeah, but that's that, man. So we've gone through topics that everyone can
Gaming
relate
production, because that was all based on the Japanese stories. I think we sort of branched off into
Yeah.
gaming and anime.
to. Yeah, no.
Do you know that on
Mm.
Japanese though? I was gonna say I think it was Japan or China where they have like multi-generational mortgages.
Oh, you got to explain this to me.
So you take out a mortgage, and basically it goes for longer than your life. So you're basically signing your kids up to take on the mortgage to
Fuck.
continue paying it off.
That is so depressing.
Apparently that's how it works, and that's why they like live in places with like their grandparents, then the parents, then the children,
Can I bring up something weird, like a conspiracy theory?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I fuck with conspiracy. Let's
All
go.
right, let's go. So I don't want this to bite me in the ass in the future, and I don't.
Oh, real.
I want a unified humanity, right? I don't care where you're from, what country, what religion, what color you are. I want unified because, like, I love multiculturalism, dude. I work I go to some place. There's a Japanese family there. There's a Colombian family there. There's a fucking Puerto Rican family there. Or at a club, right? If I went to a club and there was, if I went to a party and there was one person from every country and I was representing Australia, I'd be so happy. I wouldn't find a single person there that I disliked.
Mm.
Right? Right? I would get along with everyone. I'd be like, bro, tell me you like a guy I work with at the moment where I'm working in Ingleburn, he's Egyptian.
Mm.
Right? I fucking pestered him for like 40 minutes today about tell me about Egypt. And he said, oh, I used to live 5Ks away from the pyramids. He's like,
What?
he told me, he's like, it's like for you, if someone asked you about the opera house, you'd be like, it's whatever. It's the same thing for him. He's like, it's the pyramids, whatever.
Yeah,
But
it's so different.
I know, no, but I'm telling you, I'm like, mate, there's like a mysticism. There's like a romantic, the pyramids in
Like,
Egypt.
we got no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's
Whereas the opera house is like, yeah, they built that shit.
Yeah.
It's all
It's
documented.
the same for him, dude. He said we romanticize the magicalness of Egypt. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, you'll be the same if you live there. So I was like, oh, fair enough.
Wow.
So, but when I think about today's in this day and age, think about this for a second. And look, I'm not trying to like cause anything at all, but this is just a random theory that one can take in. This is just something I thought of that's like, oh, that's interesting. I thought of that. Maybe I'll bring it up in the podcast. This is just a wild theory. I'm not trying to cause dissent and I'm not trying to cause any kind of racist opinions. But when you think about China for a second, right? They're obviously communists. And when you look at China, it's just like, obviously there's a lot of bullshit issues with like, you can only have one child kind of thing.
I think that's stopped though.
Oh, that's good.
That used
I
to
hope
be a
so.
thing,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just like, and
Because that is now what's causing their population collapse. Because
Yeah.
that's now playing out where they could only have one child.
yeah,
So every couple is now reduced to one.
that's fucked up, man. How could you just dictate life like that? And there's also like, I know that women were treated less like women, like female babies were treated worse than male babies because male babies were more capable of getting better jobs or whatever the bullshit is. But like, think about our society, Western society, right? Especially like around America. There's so much issues with trans. More people are in more, there's the standards for like, you got to be 6 foot, you got to have like a full head of hair, you got to be this like 6-figure motherfucker to get a relationship. Every woman's a bad bitch now. They're super independent. So like you've got all these like so you've got 1% of the population who are like the guys who are like 10s who are getting all these women. The rest of them are just losers. If they're not working hard enough, if they don't have money, if they don't have the looks, if they don't have a certain height, they're not getting women.
It's all
And
that
so-
instant comparison
Exactly.
online
So women-
presence.
Yeah, so women have OnlyFans now. They have all these fucking levels that you need to reach to get a woman, right? And I know firsthand from trying to be on dating apps, like it's rough, dude. I can't just by myself get a woman now. Like I have to have a certain degree. It's like I have to have a diploma for a woman. Like they have to tick boxes. If you think about China, for instance, they probably have those standards, but it's not as much. So China is just pumping out people. Their population is huge. And because probably through the government and communism and what they're taught, they don't have the kind of issues that we have. So we have, in the West, especially America, for instance, there's an issue with coexisting, racism, population, school shootings, all this shit. In China, I'm sure they have issues, but it's like, shut the fuck up, procreate, do this. So China's progress and their populations are here, and the West, we're here.
Mm.
So there's a big issue. And I know for a fact that China played the long game. China's like, oh, we'll fuck you guys up in the next 50 or to 30 years, right? America, like Western societies, we're thinking about now. And that's what I admire about the Asia is like especially China, they take the long approach.
Mm.
Sun Tzu, baby, Sun Tzu,
Yeah,
right?
they're all about something bigger than themselves.
Right. And I'm not saying at any point that at some point China is just going to have this ultimate global power and they're going to invade the rest of the countries. I don't think China's all about that. From what I've heard from people and from what I've read, I think China is just trying to do their own thing and they're trying to exist, right? If they expand, it's not to step on people's toes. They just need resources to feed their own country, right? I'm not shitting in China in any way. I'm not sucking up to China. Fuck communism. 100%. Fuck communism. Fuck communism. But I'm just saying whether it's healthy for their population or not, or their people and their mindsets, they probably have less freedoms, but they're certainly a lot more consistent than the West, right? And I'm using American as an example because they're like, I feel like America is like the figurehead for white people and Westerners in general.
Well, do you know what's interesting about America?
So can I just say, what do you
Yeah,
think?
sorry.
What do you think about that theory that I'm saying there?
No, I think you're 100% right. China is growing hard and they got a lot of money, but that depends on who you listen to as well. Some people are saying that they're going to run out of money. Some people are saying that they got so much money they could just buy other countries, basically. So they're like, oh, you guys got all this debt. We'll just buy that and now we own you.
Mhm.
And then there's the rumor of China very closely watching what was going on with Russia and Ukraine and how the rest of the world reacted.
Mhm.
Apparently, they were watching to see, oh, is America going to step in? And if they're not, then I think we're cool to just take over Taiwan. That's apparently what they were looking and testing. They were like, okay, well, if they're not going to do anything about that, we may as well do this.
That's a big issue for them, man. Like, let's think about this for a moment.
I don't know enough about it to speculate.
I don't either, but I know that China have a big fucking, like, they care about Taiwan, dude. Taiwan are like, we're doing our own things, and China's like, motherfucker, you're a part of us. It's like Russia and Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Russians believe that Ukraine is a part of their sovereignty. So if you think about, can you imagine if Tasmania was being contested by Norway? And Norway were like, we're going to give you your independence. And we're like, fuck you. Those are Australians. Tasmania is Australia, you cunts. Don't you fucking dare get involved. Don't let the Tasmanians, don't put ideas in the Tasmanians' heads that they're independent and like you're trying to give your sway. Shut the fuck up, Norway. No offense.
Exactly. That's Russia's
Taiwan.
stance.
That's
and
Taiwan
that's
for China. Yeah.
China's stance on Taiwan.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I believe there's obviously a shit brewing there, and I'm not a big fan that they're a communist-run country. But what's really interesting about the American reign, right, is this theory of, well, it's not even a theory, but it's an observation of what things are currently happening that we have no idea about, that nobody's talking about, that the media doesn't know about yet, but it will be reflected upon by historians in the future and then will be labeled as certain things. So the example is when the Roman Empire fell, nobody at the time was like, oh, the Roman Empire is falling. It's gone now. Nobody said that. Shit was going on. And then 20, 30, 50 years later, historians were like, oh, I think this and this event is the point where the Roman Empire
Catalyst.
fell. And historians will mark the time point of where it happened. So we won't know when it happens, but historians 10 to 20 years from now might go, that was the point where America lost its power.
Yeah.
That's where the American Empire fell. And we won't know that until shit's unfolded more and more. Because it's not covered by the news. The news just covers whatever the fuck is front of mind and whatever they need to push, whatever agenda they need to push. But it will be studied by historians.
No doubt. It also ties into what we've mentioned before, is like, currently, you and I and anyone else listening, we're living in the good old days.
Exactly.
We are
We've mentioned
currently
that.
we are currently living in the good days right now, and we can't even
We
Like
don't
I
even
think
know it.
about it, like I've had some fucking dark times, right? And I think about that 3 years in the past. It was a dark time, but I'm like, fuck, that was a cool time. I was a bit thinner.
I
I had this and
always
that. Like,
Yeah.
dude, right now, in 2 years' time, we're gonna think about this conversation we have right now and be like, fuck, that was a cool time. But right now, I'm just focused on my fucking job and
Yeah.
like, yeah, you
We're
know?
so engulfed in what's going on and all the stresses we have. But I've always said this whenever I look back in retrospect or in hindsight or whatever you want to call it
Mhm.
on my past self, I'm always like, oh, that was a better time. Like it's always just positives that I remember. So the same thing would happen in 3 years' time from now. I'll look back on today and be like, that was an easier time.
Yeah, right?
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 What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Here's to fucking hindsight, eh?
Fucking oath. Cheers,
Cheers.
bro.
Welcome to the Von Liter, everyone.
Fuck yeah. I think we've covered a decent amount of shit tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to
think-
everyone for listening. And look, I don't need to say this, but if if I say anything that offends you, or if there's any kind of topics that you disagree on, or things you want to say, there is a comment section in our podcast,
Comment away.
in our Spotify. We look at that stuff and we will bring it up. And if you want us to mention your name or not, if you want us to add your Instagram or not, we will. It's up to you. Just message us. Like, you know who we are. So let us know. Because this podcast is growing like my penis on a Sunday night. I'm just joking.
The littest podcast of them all.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Prost, everyone. Have
Thanks,
a great
everyone.
weekend.